questions.
Yo, what a way to start the show, man. Impressions.
Swing, man.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another Bro Talk podcast. This is Kareem. I got my brothers on here, Mark. I got Ike, and I also got Bilal here with us, brothers. What's going on this Monday in April? How y'all feeling?
I feel good. It was a good weekend. Man, the Black Heritage Gala was excellent. Ran a little long, but you wouldn't complain considering. I mean, the folks that were recognized and honored, and really, giving them the time that they deserve to give remarks. Dr. Walter Cooper received the Lifetime Achievement Award.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, man, and it was just to be in the room while that man gave remarks was it was a blessing. But when you consider not just Dr. Walter Cooper, former Mayor Bill Johnson received the Icon Award, and again, so and so in the same night to hear remarks given by Dr. Walter Cooper, former Mayor Bill Johnson, and Bishop Jerry McCullough. You know what I mean? Again, it was I caught myself fortunate to have been there. You know what I mean for that. Again, there were all the honorees. I don't want to try to name everyone, but shout out to my bro, Demond Meeks, who you know what I mean. Again, West Side.
He got a couple awards this past weekend, didn't he?
I believe so.
You got the Zeta Award. I think I saw online.
Okay, but he was recognized at the gala as well. So it was just it was a dope night. I sit on the board for Healthy Baby Network. They had the April is Maternal Health Month and Maternal Health Awareness Month. So they had a walkathon on this past Saturday. And shout out to everybody that show if you know Vinny, you know what I mean, whether from coaching, from the barber, you know what I mean, barbering world. We lost a great brother, so just
I've been seeing a lot of stuff about that. I saw that Kyran, right?
Kyron, yeah.
Kyron, my bad. Kyron. Yeah, were you part of that production?
No, I wasn't a part of it, but
Okay.
yeah, it was dope to see, you know what I mean, all the barbers, you know what I mean, show love and pay their respects to the brother, because man, he was a dope brother, man. Great dad, great barber, just a great dude, man. And I've known him since he went to high school with my younger brother, so I've known him since he was in high school, and so man, we definitely lost a good brother. And I ain't saying this ever, like, man, who we should and shouldn't lose, but when you think about, you know what I mean, the amount of kids out here who don't have dads doing what they're supposed to be doing and whatnot. So for his kids to lose, a father who is definitely active, involved, engaged, man, it's a blow to not only them but to our community.
Yeah, appreciate that, man, for bringing that to light. Condolences to him and his family, for sure. Yeah, appreciate that, bro. All right, what's going on, bro?
Nothing. Nah, everything's cool, man. I've just been on mute because I'm surrounded by everybody in my family right now, so they don't understand like this microphone really works. But
they like, they on spring break, right?
Oh,
yeah, man, these jokers all on spring.
So yeah, so they like, yo, man, we ain't even got no curfew.
We causing havoc, man. They don't, but they don't necessarily need to be sitting at the table while I'm sitting here talking to everybody in Facebook land, right, and YouTube. But everything's good, man. It's always good to have the family around. It was cool today, sitting there and just kind of watching the milestones kind of pile up. So Zoe came up to us today. Well, when I came home and asked, "Hey, Daddy, can you help me take my tooth out?"
Oh wow.
So yeah, so
her taking it out herself, like that's
that's what
that's
I'm saying, right? So I said, yeah, let me take a look at it, and it was actually pretty loose. So I said, well, you need some floss, right? You know how you used to get the string, tie it to the door. We just get a piece of dental floss, put a little loop in it, slide it
You
on
would
the
try
tooth.
to scare your kids, man. See, that's why trauma. That's
Listen,
why trauma be happening, bro.
listen. This little girl is fearless. She said, I want to do it myself.
Oh,
So what did she do? She did it. She put it on her tooth and
this really happened.
And popped the joint right out. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Not that long ago. So
That's
yeah,
HUD right there.
Right. You know what I mean? I wouldn't do that as a kid. Like, that girl's gangster, man. But yeah, just cool to kind of watch those milestones happen. And this week, this weekend actually was, a pretty eventful weekend. So with them getting ready to get out of school, there's generally just a lot going on as well. But like bRho mentioned, the banquet, but the city of Rochester actually had a lot of stuff going on this weekend as well too. The MBK program, put on a mental health summit along with a bunch of, Rochester School District was there, but other departments in the city of Rochester, Youth Voice on Vision was there. Breathe Deep was another organization that, took part in that event. And it was really a cool opportunity, to get young people out to just talk about, mental health and substance abuse and the effects of it. Not necessarily even if that they're going through that, but if you know somebody that's going through that, like what supports are out there for you. So to be able to kind of see that, in action and, let that take, let that happen in particular in the school that it took place, right? The event actually was at, Soda, where, we all know the events that happened there, where a young person took their life just a couple weeks before. So, just to be able to kind of have that support system there for young people in the community, I think was a great opportunity. And then, we this week starts school break. So, things are busy, around the office as well. We just sent 26 young people to the DMV area. Their first stop was actually in Pennsylvania at Cheney University. So they're going to be able to hit up another, I think it's 4 HBCUs.
You didn't want to go this year?
I didn't want to go last year either. Nah, it's not that I didn't want to go, man. It's like you take a day off of work. Listen, you take a day off of work and you got 3,000 emails to come back to after that. So
yeah,
just imagine doing a week, man.
It's a lot of work for us to go on these tours. Like,
it would have been tough.
A lot of work.
And if you understand like the responsibilities that this brother has, like he is very humble in terms of talking about himself, but man, the brother is overseeing a very robust bRho with a lot of moving parts, a lot of folks, who are that fall under his auspices. So like he got a full plate. He's got a very full plate, and he does it with. He's amazing at what he does.
Yeah, appreciate it. Yeah, it's a lot going on, but I don't do it by myself. So there's definitely having a great team makes it a lot easier too. So definitely appreciate everybody that's walking through the journey with us. So we've got our Biz Kids camp starting this week as well too. So we've got about 20 kids that are there doing a youth entrepreneurship program.
Get KJ signed up this time around for that, man. I'm gonna have to wait till the summer.
Yeah, to come back, right? Mm-hmm. So we'll definitely make sure that he gets that experience as well. It's time for Tamia to get that experience too. So
okay,
we can kind of coordinate on that as well. Make sure that they both get through it.
Cool.
And we're also having our youth employment training in partnership with Hillside. So we've got another 20 or 30 kids that are participating in that as well too. Just kind of learning those employment training skills. So yeah, things are busy, man. And then kids at home praying they don't burn down the house, you know. So I definitely got to give a shout out to my dad, man, for coming to step in and make sure Ava got to gymnastics today, and you know, driving her around and the rest of the kids, you know, making sure that they're good. So just wanted to shout him out on that as well.
No doubt. Dad bliss.
It's a lot happening, man. A lot going on.
Yeah. Yo, bro, what's going on in your world, bro?
My world, man. Man, I'm grateful, man. I'm grateful to be alive. You know, I'm grateful that my family is good. You know, not much, man. Just grinding as usual. You know what I'm saying? That's all, bro. Just grinding.
I'm gonna say my shout out for the end, but yeah, I'm just gonna say what Brewski said, man. I'm happy to be alive, happy to be breathing, happy to be walking, happy to be amongst you brothers. And this week, yes, kids are on break, looking to definitely get them busy into something. So KJ got a camp tomorrow, taking him over to that so he can play basketball and learn about Jesus at the same time. And then my daughter, we're still trying to figure that out with her. She did start the basketball training on last Thursday. So she was there.
Yeah, is her injury still healed? Is her injury healed?
Her injury is 100% healed, bro.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah.
You gotta take her back to the doctor, get a second opinion and all that stuff.
Well, I don't know about a second opinion, but we took her back to the doctor and got her checked out.
The doctor cleared her.
Cleared her 100%.
Okay.
Yep, 100%. She even got a gym pass because she had to get cleared back for gym too. But they wasn't letting her play in gym.
Okay.
Yeah, so trainer working on her shot right now because her shot was unorthodox, to say the least. So trainer getting her on the right track. So it was good, man. We was practicing today. She was hitting some jumpers. KJ, I don't know. He was hitting them. He hit 3 jumpers in a row on me. Like I'm thinking like whatever, man. This little kid, wow. I was like,
oh,
man.
Dude, what your knock knees do? It's okay. He's gonna do that, bro. He's gonna do that. You know what I'm saying?
Come on, man.
Like, come on, man.
Listen,
come on, man. Stop it, man. KJ gonna continue to whoop that. You know what, bro?
Listen, man.
Hey,
I'm all right with that. You know what I'm saying? That could lead to something. That could lead to something monetarily at some point. Most importantly, educationally.
As soon as Josiah start beat me in something, I'm stopping. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, yo, I'm gonna know 1 or 2 people that could bust him that could do him dirty. Those people in.
No, I'm out to start doing them like white man can't jump, man. Just if you come to the hole, man, Mutombo, no.
Not in my house.
For real. But hey, man, let's go ahead and get started with the show. Clarence Shepard, what's up, bro? He said, shout out to bRho for this week. bRho, I don't know what you did, but you did something great as usual. So he said, shout you out.
It's the village, man. My nephew's a student over at UPrep, and so again, that's why it's so important to be connected to the village, because you know he my nephew ran into an incident at school where he just wasn't managing his emotions well, and so I just pulled up. He, Brother Clarence hit me up. I pulled up. You know what I mean? He gave us, made his office available for us to have a conversation, and we got him back on track, and that's the whole, it takes more than one of us, you know what I mean? So for him to be able to, make that call, let my nephew know, hey, I can get Unc on the phone, and then I pull up, it reinforces like, hey, with him, like, man, I want to make sure, that I'm not doing something that's going to get me in trouble, not only with the administrator. So now he knows bro ain't just an administrator at a school. He's connected to the family. So
I love that look that they have when the person pop up and you be like, oh, ain't you so-and-so's?
Oh yeah. When I pulled up, he was like, "Oh, okay, like that's real." Like, yeah. I said, "Man, listen, you know what I mean." So yeah, you know what I mean. And it was just a quick chat, nothing crazy. You know what I mean? Like, yo, listen, man, you know, we got to manage our emotions better. You know what I mean? And
I think it's a good place to start, B. You know, not in terms of that, just in general, not so much him and the
absolutely.
Yeah, because there's an opportunity there for us to exercise the difference between your personal responsibility that you have to yourself, but then also society has their own accountability measure, and it might not necessarily align, depending on who you are and what you look like and what you got between your legs. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not the same for everybody. So
Get that one.
No, I think
male or female.
Well, no, I think that's a great point. Because you know, in our community, and even in terms of how I you know, approached the conversation with my nephew, it wasn't, you know, like, again, back in the day, man, if my dad would have pulled up to a school,
getting whooping on the spot, bro.
Yo, he tight.
100%.
Listen, I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this in front of everybody. I would that whooping would have had to happen at home, because it wasn't going, like, yo, if I'd have found out my dad was in school, I'm out. I know it's gonna be 10 times worse at home because I bounced.
Yeah,
I'm gonna take that.
You can't take that L in front of everybody, though.
In school, bro. Nah.
Yo,
y'all
it happened in kindergarten, man. One of my homies, man, took an L. Yo, all the way home, bro. We all seen it. I was like, oh,
nah. You know what I mean? And so, you know, like, the idea or thought that, hey, because you're conducting yourself in a certain way or not managing your emotions well, that we just gonna go straight discipline and compliance with it. Nah, you know what I mean? I really try to I really try to take an approach that, hey, man, I understand that, you know what I mean, you know, situations happen and you feel like he was trying to advocate for himself, and but you don't know how to do it, or you end up taking the wrong approach in doing so. It's, you know what I mean, it's really showing them and guiding them about how to manage and navigate those emotions. And that's important for us to understand, because I can't look to resolve or correct and address a behavioral issue and not consider the underlying things that precipitate it. You know what I mean? Like, so to address one and not the other, I feel like it's a disservice to our young people.
Gotta see it on all sides. Now I'm looking at bRho's face right now, and his face says a couple things. It says, train up a child. I just did a baby dedication this weekend with my wife, so it's fresh in my mind. Train up a child in the way they should go, so that when they get old, they don't depart from it, right? Another part of bRho's face is saying, if you spare the rod, you're gonna spare the child. And you know, the rod, I think the rod can be an actual rod, and it can also be metaphorical as well. You know what I'm saying?
You're using a lot of PhD words.
Oh, my bad.
It's okay. I do understand what they mean, though.
I know you do.
You know what I'm saying?
I know you do.
What's the metaphor, though, around sparing the rod?
It's just a form of discipline. You know, some form of discipline. Yeah. Some people use a belt. Some use a rod. Some use a switch. Some people use words.
So it's not really a metaphor. It's like real. Like, that's what I was trying to figure out. Like,
my only thing with that, man, and I kept smiling because the world changes, and we have to kind of pivot a little bit. But still, I still feel that we still got to go to it, man. You know, you're emotional. What type of emotional you got? You know what I'm saying? I'm like, how old are you? You know what I'm saying? But that's just me coming from where I'm coming from.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm looking at it like, okay, yeah, they do have emotions, but I'm letting them know, like, listen, man, if I have to waste my time and come back up here again, you know what I'm saying?
That's accountability, though.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying, dude. Listen, man, listen to what you know, whatever. You gotta know how to walk away from somebody. If somebody put their hand on you, well, you gotta defend yourself. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. But at the end of the day, man, I'm not coming back up here. This brother's not supposed to be calling me. You can't, if he talk to you, you're supposed to be paying attention and listen to what he say. You know what I'm saying? Come on, man.
I think the part being, I think you're gonna explain it, but I just want to say from all of our experiences, the piece about them trying to express themselves is really the part where we got to do some work. So because they could be saying, like, their reasons can be right, like the reasons can be valid. I'll say valid,
right?
But the way tone and delivery, right? But the way that it come out, that adult is not gonna hear what they're saying if they're coming at them like a certain way.
And I don't think it's not that he wouldn't listen to Brother Clarence. I think what Brother Clarence was illustrating for him is like, yo, I am tapped into the village, so that, you know what I mean. So it gives.
I'm not anybody. Like
exactly. It adds a layer of brevity to, and gravity to his voice when he is saying something, because now it's like, yo, you know what I mean. When these situations happen, you do know that.
I've seen that happen. Like I called somebody. It was like, oh, ain't your uncle so and so? Called on the phone. Hey, what's up, man? I got your nephew right here. You want to talk to him? Oh man, what's going on? Nothing, man. We just want to chat. I just want him to know that I knew you.
Yeah.
And even from that, like not even putting them on full blast, they like, all right. And then that changes like the whole relationship now. Absolutely. Now they know, like, okay. But I think, part of that too is, I think when you have students growing up in a system where sometimes they feel like the adults don't really care about them and really just see them as just like another kid or whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
But when they know that you are tapped into their community, it could be something as simple as, like, if I went to the Family Dollar up the street and I seen like one of the kids in my, let's say I had a class and I seen like a kid from my class. If I see that kid and I see that kid's parent, I approach them, because that's normally what I would do. I approach them, say, hey, how you doing? I'm so-and-so's teacher. Da-da-da-da-da. Oh, I know who you are. And then now they see me in a whole different environment. They see me with regular street clothes on. I might have my kids with me. You know what I'm saying? Like, those type of things really do matter, especially for a lot of students, man. Yeah.
I remember it is so, again, because my nephew has his dad's name, because he's my sister's son. You know what I mean? Sometimes the dots are a little harder to connect. But like for my son, like he got it bad both ways. His last name is Smith, so people know or recognize the last name. But then your first name bRho, is like, yo,
there's not a whole lot of bRhos out here, man.
Not walking around this city. So I mean, I remember he had to be like, man, first or second grade, he got on the bus to go to school, and the bus driver was like, she was like, bRho Smith? He's like, yeah. She was like, it was like one of the first days of school, so the bus driver was getting to know the route and getting to know the kids, and was like, your dad named bRho Smith? He was like, yeah. So he was like, and your grandma's name, and it was like, he was like, how you know my grandma? I know your whole family. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And again, not that he was ever gonna behave or misbehave on that bus, but just that connection.
Oh, that sends a signal.
Yeah, it's like because your last name is important, right? So you know what I mean. You think, you know what I mean, like for Zoe, for Tamia, for Ava, for, you know what I'm saying. When they go somewhere and it's Bliss, and man, listen, Eli,
know what time
Bliss, like, oh, it's, you know what I mean. Your first name speaks to identify you. That surname, that last name, connects you to a whole lineage of people, that when people are able to identify that name, now there's a history that they know about you, and an expectation of behavior that they're like, hey, I know this about the people you come from, and
let's talk about that.
If I see you acting in a way that's inconsistent with what I know to be true about those people,
right,
I gotta have a conversation with those people.
But let's talk about that, because do y'all think that is happening. And even people that are watching us right now, thank you so much. We love to hear from you in the comments about this particular conversation, that we're having right now. Is really we're talking about that accountability piece, and we're kind of more ventured into the community side of it. We'll talk about society in a second in terms of men, but like, are we having conversations with our kids about like, yo, like you can't just be going out here doing anything. Like your last name means something. It means something to us. It also means something to people out in the community. Like if you hear, the Jacksons, they're gonna know, like, oh yeah, that's so and so people, whatever. The Guthries is so and so people. You know what I'm saying? Like, are we having those conversations? Because one of the things that we used to talk about too, in addition to your last name, was like your race. When we would say stuff like, yo, man, don't be out there acting crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, this society doesn't look at you the same way as they look at others. You know what I'm saying? Like in this society, like for example, if if you had a little kid, that was running around in the bank, you know what I'm saying, if they were not black, maybe it'd be like, oh, they're just running around having fun. But if a little black kid run around in the bank, is it going to be the same situation? Or is it going to be like, hey, can you tell them to stop running around? You know what I mean? Like these double standards do exist, have existed. But anyway, I made that a little bit more complicated. Are you having conversations about last name and, being a representation for your race? Or anybody in the comments is watching?
Your race or your family?
I say and or
both are
both,
relevant.
really. To me, they go together. But that's just me.
I mean, I think for race, with some of our children being in schools where they are not the majority, right? Yeah, I think that is important to make sure that you're presenting yourself in a way that is going to be both that's going to be respectable. Because a lot of that will feedback. I think a lot of that feedback will be their parents must be, or they were taught this way, or that's how they all are, right? That becomes the conversation, that becomes the narrative. So I think it is important to make sure that when you are out in public, you're presenting yourself in a positive way. One of the things that, I sometimes take for granted is that, when I go out and we go out with the kids, I'm looking at them like, you better not do nothing crazy, right? I remember, just recently, we were doing some furniture shopping right now. So, we went to a furniture store and the kids are like jumping from one couch to the next. And I'm just like, hey, chill out, right? But, they're kids, right? So they see all these beds and couches, like they're going to go and explore and sit on them and like watch the chair go up and move everything around. And, from my perspective, I'm thinking like, y'all are really out here wilding, right? And then one of the, we get asked for a little bit of assistance because we're trying to get measurements and everything like this. And the response from the clerk in the store is, you have some of the most well-behaved children that have come in here in a long time. And I'm looking at them like, you ain't see what they was just doing, right? But ultimately it's because, they say, they had a little spot where they can get something to drink, some ice cream and things like that. They say, please, right? They say, thank you. They're appreciative of, those type of things. So, I think it's important to, it's important for me, to recognize recognize the positive things that they're doing, even though I sometimes think they should be doing a little bit more, right? And also recognizing that they're kids as well too, so they need that latitude to kind of stretch their legs and act out a little bit. But ultimately, at the end of the day, they are presenting themselves in a positive manner. And I know for a fact, and from the work that we do, that that's not always the case, right? So from my perspective, I just got to say, I'm definitely proud of, my children, and when they are out in public and I'm not around, or when they're in school, Based on the reports that I get back from teachers, from them about them as well too, is that I know that they're holding up that Bliss name, to the level that I would expect them to. Even though like it's not always 100%, I don't think they're doing 100% what they're supposed to be doing. The lessons that, we're teaching them at home, they're actually taking heed to, and they're listening to, and they're following that when they're out in public as well.
I just want to add real quick. There's a research around. There was a black lady, I think, and her daughter, and the white lady. She was talking with a older white lady, and the older white lady was saying like, how good this child was, and just really giving really positive accolades. And the mom responded with, "Oh, you should see her at home. Da 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 da. This and that." And the research was talking about how that is a product of when during times of slavery, where you didn't want to like up your child like that, because if you talked about all the great things that they can do, and they can be taken and gone to another plantation. And even slavery, even though it has been, well, physical chattel slavery has been gone for several hundred years, but we still have those same conversations about our kids.
Years, we haven't reached 200 years since.
Oh yeah, you're right. I don't know what I was thinking.
Yeah, we
1865, right?
Yeah, so we're not 2 centuries removed from that.
We're not even 2 centuries removed from.
So
yeah, I appreciate that.
And so
but to end it though, is that like even like how we talk about our kids, because I'm getting it from Ike was saying about the positive part, right? Is that we do want to talk well about our kids, even though they're doing that, right? I could have been like, oh, you should see him at home, man. They be cutting up this and that. But he didn't, what I'm saying? He talked about like, yeah, like they do these things because our kids get conditioned. That's really what the research was talking about, how like kids get conditioned on how they should act. You know what I mean? As opposed to like other kids, can run around freely and explore, and it's seen really well. But, when our kids do it, it's almost like we're protecting them, which is why we have much of a clamp on them. And then when people do talk about all the good things they're doing, we answer with the negative because of, that PTSD of, that being, passed down.
But I would say even to that point, right? Let's say, your kids are, again, just being kids in a furniture store, right?
Mm.
Our epigenetic response is like.
See, I ain't the only one using PhD words, bro.
But
this bro said epigenetic.
Because when we're talking about the
that's what we're talking about. Yeah,
the internalized trauma from enslavement.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? That trauma is passed down, on a cellular level, and so here we are, where as well as again from a generational level and then a cellular level, like to be out in public and not conducting yourself in complete accordance to how your parents would want you to behave or conduct yourself could mean very severe consequences. You know what I mean? So again, other children are allowed to have a platitude or a latitude that we weren't able to have, and we sometimes are like have to consciously remind ourselves to allow our kids to have, because of again those conditioned responses of not just what it would mean if we celebrated our kids and for their behavior, but if our kids were misbehaving or out of line, like you know what I mean, and how we've lived in a very white paternalistic society in this country, and so people could say or openly judge or critique the job they felt like you were doing as a parent, as a man, as a husband, father, like all of these different spaces that you would be critiqued on, and you know what I mean, and so I think those internalized traumas have, you know what I mean, we're still reconditioning ourselves to how we can just be free to be parents and be with our kids, whether it's in public or in private, you know what I mean. So I think, somebody saying celebrating their kids and be like, oh, you should see them at home. I just take the win. Just sometimes just learn how to say thank you. You know what I mean? Because I think that's what sometimes people be like, oh, they'll compliment your outfit. You be like, oh man, I got this from such. I just
Yep.
just take the compliment. Just thank you. Thank you would have
But
been
that's
enough.
hard though, man. It's
Thank you would
for
have.
some folks it's hard.
Thank you is a response, and it's
It
a
is.
complete response. You know what I mean?
It
But
is.
sometimes we miss that.
Yeah.
But yeah, to Isaac's point, man. Listen, Zoe was in the building the other, and she is the sweetest. Like, she is so sweet. Like, she came by my office, sought me out, gave me a hug. You know what I mean? I sent her back. I sent her back with all kinds of treats, stuff she couldn't even have. But she was, you know what I mean? And for me, like, when parents, as a parent, when I go to the school and the teachers are like, man, listen.
You should see her at home though.
Right.
She's doing just as good at home too.
Yeah.
She is a sweetheart, man.
I think oftentimes, right, like, to me, I love, and my kids understand the expectation of how they're supposed to, handle themselves and conduct themselves in school as far as academics. But when teachers are like, man, you have raised great people, like, I know they're going to be okay in life. Like, you know what I mean? At some point,
a huge compliment.
The academic journey comes to an end. Who are you as a person?
That's a huge compliment, man. That's
I don't even know if I could take credit for Zoe, man. She's a different breed, man. But I say
you absolutely could take credit for Zoe.
I say that half-heartedly, but okay. My thing is, like, each of our children are different, right? And they have those different traits and different qualities about her. And she's a natural nurturer, right? She looks out for other people. She's always, like, kind of checking in. I think she has, like, this sixth sense or something like that, where she can tell when someone else is feeling a certain type of way. So she'll just walk over in the perfect timing and give you a hug or give her mom a kiss, or just say, you need anything. Every night before bed, it's just good night. So she's different than my other kids, right? In that aspect. And I definitely recognize that from her. So it shows, because all of her teachers that she had up to date, they all, like, rave about her. They're like, if I could have 20 Zoes in my class, I would have the perfect class. You know what I mean? So that's the type of stuff that, as a parent, definitely warms your heart, and understanding that she's not me, right? But she's a part of me, but she is her own person, and she's, like bRho said, definitely kind of making her way and figuring out how to navigate certain situations, but it's just overall intentionally a good person.
Yeah. I think, man, I just wanted to add that, do you all think that the way that you were raised plays a part in how you're raising your kids now? Because, like bRho was saying, like, hey, it was a different time back when we were around, right? Like, we was outside. You feel me? So we had to get the rundown. Like, listen, when you out, this is how you need to conduct yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like,
we outside be something totally different.
Yeah, it was something. Yeah, very, very different. Very.
We outside.
But for me, what saying that, and then the response, we outside, is different. I can't say that I raised my kids because of the way I was raised. I think I raised my kids based on the current status of society, or our current society, right? And the way things are. So I allow them to do certain things and don't allow them to do certain things because of the dangers or the challenges or the barriers that they may encounter with the way society is now.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's things that trickle in there from when I grew up, and I was just like, I didn't like that. I ain't gonna do it, right? But I think that from a broader, painting a broader picture is more so, just trying to make sure that they're able to navigate, the current world that they live in, which I don't, fully understand now. It's different from how it was when we grew up. So, doing things that I wanted to do back in the day that doesn't necessarily align with some of the things that that they would want to do now, because technology is different. The safety of our streets are different. And there's just all these other elements and variables that they encounter on a day-to-day basis that I think, I probably have a heightened awareness of, that I want to make sure that they're guarded from.
Yeah, I think, man, I think about the people that don't have, one of the parents in the home, specifically the dad. That's the one that we can relate to. So the video that we watched earlier today, for people that are watching, we watched a video. A young man was just talking about the influence of mothers and some of the things that have, negatively affected him, and then just he was talking in general terms. But something he said, man, it really did catch my ears. I'm not going to say exactly what he said, but he had mentioned the phrase, when it said, when mom is calling me and she's saying like,
Get your dumb A down here.
yes, yes,
Or, you know what I mean?
yes. And bro, I've heard that from parents, like verbatim, like in person. Now, I'm not necessarily gonna step in, because I know that's your child, and I didn't see you try to threaten them, at the time as a mandated reporter. But I couldn't imagine, because I didn't grow up like that. I couldn't imagine hearing that all the time, and then because at some point, like, words have power, man. At some point, I would think that that kid is gonna live up to that. They're gonna live up to that at some point, or they're gonna grow up to resent that figure, that mother figure, man, because of those things that were said. And yeah, like, that really caught my attention. I just want to know, you brothers, man, what are some thoughts that you have about that? And anybody in the comments, love to hear what you have to say as well, like the way that we talk to our kids, and this young man specific experience, he was talking about how his mom was talking to him, and the effect that they had. So any thoughts about that, man? Because that was like, oof.
I mean, the reality is it happens, and then and here's the unfortunate part about it happening, right? Is then when that same young person now ends up, in some sort of trouble in front of a judge or at court or whatever the case is, right? Now you don't want to be now you don't even want to come on their behalf. Now it's an inconvenience to you to now, like, we have to. This is why it's so important to one, be conscious of the seeds that we're sowing, and then and to be parenting from a healed place, right? Like, every one of us has experienced hurts, traumas, and you name it, right? But when you're thinking about how we then project that, how that impacts or influences the lives that we are now responsible to be stewards over, it is, man, we can do a lot of damage. And even one I think back to one of those, if you grew up in the 80s, 90s or whatever, that they would say all the time, sticks and stones may break your bones, but words will never hurt you. That's a lie. And
That's a whole lie.
Words hurt more than the sticks and stones. Matter of fact, words kill. You know what I mean? And I think that is something we have to be conscious of, is the, you know, how those words then manifest themselves, and then be, you know, understand that you now have to be responsible. You want to hold them accountable, or, you know, for the behaviors that you're seeing displayed, but won't hold yourself accountable for your role in producing that.
Yeah, I mean, how you gonna, you know, I've seen, like, how you gonna talk to a 3-year-old in that manner? Like, yo, he's
Or
3.
even calling kids bad. Like we have a
Yeah.
we have a bad
Oh,
habit
girl,
of
he bad, or mad, yo, man, bro,
he's
he
bad. Like,
bad.
nah,
Oh,
man,
bad.
like, yo,
He's a
he's a
kid.
kid. He's a kid. Like, yo, that's what kids supposed to do. Get your bad tail. Get your, like, man,
Yeah.
stop calling your kid bad.
Yeah, because they will become bad. You keep calling them that.
Yeah,
They will become bad.
It's hurtful, man. This is probably a few months ago. I was in Walmart, and I was just going to pick up some bins or whatever like that. And all I could hear from 3 aisles down was a mother just straight cursing out her kid. And you know how, you know, a kid might be, you know, just kind of wilding out, and then the mom comes in and just like, if you don't get your up and da 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 right now, I'm about to blah 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 blah. Cool. All right, I'm fine with that. But for the next 4 to 5 minutes, as I'm going through and I'm just like picking stuff up, it was non-stop. She was there with another dude that was obviously not this child's father, right? And then all you could hear is, oh, this little Nick, this little, and she don't do nothing, and she's so dumb that da, da, da. I'm like, are you serious? Like, you're yelling this out throughout this entire store for a good 4 or 5 minutes, cursing this child out in front of this dude that you probably trying to get with, or it's your boyfriend or whatever like that, but straight disrespecting your child in front of this dude, in front of everybody else at Walmart freely, and smiling and laughing about it as you're doing it. Like, what message is this child getting? Now, when this child goes to school the next day and uses all this profanity and you know, curses out
Mike. Woo! Mike, that's a bar, bro.
Right. and is using all this profanity, right? And then you come in after this happens, like, what can you say in that situation as a parent? Like, she's learning everything from you in that moment, and she doesn't know anything different. She thinks that's just how you communicate now with another individual. Like, that's what you say.
That's the crash out right there.
That's the tone you speak at. That's the language you use when communicating. That's powerful.
Yeah. So the message I think is even worse, right? You said, you know, we're saying it's bad, but the message becomes even worse when you think about that this is coming from the person that gave you life, right? Man. The person that is supposed to love you the most out of everybody else on this earth, the person that is supposed to have your best interest in mind, right? Like, when you look at it from that perspective as well too, you just realize, like, in some situations, like, our babies don't really have a chance, because the piece of that is the mother. So when you think about it from a mentality perspective, I can't believe that she truly understands, like, what she's saying to this baby. Like, in some way, shape, or form, she feels like this is okay, whether it was done to her, right? And that was just the way that she communicates or whatever, right? But there's no way you can tell me you curse your child out for 5 minutes straight in a store with all these other people walking around, calling her everything under the sun except for her name, that is in any way, shape, or form okay.
And then
there's
and then
some type
and
of mental issue going on there. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and smiling about it.
And that's why I say, you know, we got a parent from a healed place, right? Like, if you are, you know, no longer with the person you made that child with, you know what I mean? The whatever hurt residually felt from that relationship not working out or whatever it is, man, that is not a place to parent from, because you are going to, again, it is going to, like she said, like Mike said, you're yelling at your own decisions. Like you are parenting from your place of damage, of hurt, and it's truly, man, it's unfortunate, because now we're continuing a cycle of not. I mean, like, think about it. When you see youth, you know what I mean, or you see people in spaces, and like, again, one thing that I'm often like wow, this is different from when we were youth. Is if we did cuss, we would, man, the moment there was any adult around, like, we wasn't about to let them know we cussed. Like, kids will have like a whole conversation, like, as if you're not an adult present. You know what I mean? Like, they gonna talk.
Yeah.
They gonna talk to you like they talk to their friend. Like, but
or they gonna act like you're not there. Yeah.
But again, it's a byproduct of, if this is how you're being communicated with from your parent, by your parent. You know what I mean? I don't know that this isn't something that I shouldn't say in front of an adult. Like, this how my mom talk. This how my peoples talk. You know what I mean? Like,
it's normal.
Yeah, it becomes normalized, and that is, that's unfortunate, because that it's unhealthy. It's very unhealthy.
Well, it's like when we walk around with, like, it's like having that cut that never heals, right? We just walk around with it. After a while, we just get used to it. Like, we just learn to deal with it. And I think, man, there's a lot of people walking around. They've been cut, they've been injured, they've been sick, and they just got so used to working with it that now has become their new baseline. So when we talk about mindset changes, it's like what you said. Like, we got to work on our own healing first. You know what I mean? Like, we got to bandage up that wound, take the medication, take the antibiotics or whatever, man, get some rest, so that we can be close to 100%, so that we can be able to be the best that we can be, specific for our children. I say this all the time. Like, those children didn't choose to be here. You chose for them to be here, whether it was on purpose or unintentional. Like, that child is here now. Now it's your responsibility to be able to raise this kid up so that they can be the best that they can be. Because there's people walking around right now. I'll use Kirk Franklin as an example. Like, you got people right now walking around that was supposed to be aborted. You know what I mean? But parent decided to have them anyway. And those kids have now grown into adults and have become the light of the world in their own spaces. You know what I'm saying? Because and some of them had some rough upbringing, but along the way, there's some healing that happened, in their lives, man. So yeah, like, them kids didn't choose
I thought
to
you
be
were gonna
here.
say something about men wearing leggings when you brought up Kurt Franklin.
Nah.
Hey, stop that.
Come on, let's not do like that.
Stop
You know what I'm
that.
saying? Him and Shannon,
Yo.
but let's not do like that. But yeah, man. So if
Men like tight
anybody's
pants.
watching, if anybody that's watching, whether you're a mom or you're a dad, think about the ways that you're talking to your kids. You know what I'm saying? And I know people don't like, well, who are you to give me advice? I give people advice all the time. Solicited and unsolicited, but there are some things that are just right and there are things that are just wrong.
Exactly,
and just know that the seeds that you deposit, like somebody said, you can't be upset at the fruit if the soil is spoiled or the soil is not how it's supposed to be. So yeah,
if I don't care where it's coming from, if you can put me up on game, like, yo, take the information, man. Stop. You know what I mean? Stop all like nobody here knows it all. Nobody here.
None of us do.
Got all the answers. You know what I mean? Take it for what is for.
Listen,
what you
I need answers. So if you got answers, I got questions.
or
I need help.
Again, it's taking the information. Like that's like okay, I say whatever it is that you do, right? Whatever it is you do. If I'm gonna use a sports analogy real quick. If you play running back, quarterback, wide receiver, whatever it is, watch the people who do what you do. And you might be like, well, you that might not be the way you do it or mimic it entirely, but you say, oh man, there's something from that I can apply to what I do, and it'll help me or make make what I do.
All the greats can tell you they had one person that they emulated. Every great will tell you that they got at least one person.
Yeah,
and that parent in Walmart, it was Sexy Red. That was the person she emulated.
Probably.
Yeah, I bet she was at that.
You wild, though.
I'm just saying, yo. I bet she was at that concert too that we had.
It could have been Cardi.
I promise you, she
was I next level, man. I hear you, bro.
I hear you, man. Like, there's nobody else that
could have been Drake.
Taught her to speak the way she spoke, man.
Yeah, but you
eloquently.
But no, I hear you. I hear you. But I think again, Kareem's point is so valid because you hear people like you don't even know about what I'm going. Listen, all I'm saying is here's something. Put it in your tool belt. Here's something. I'm not saying if you got to get to the point where you got to jack them up. But if your default is jack your kid up, then eventually they become desensitized to it.
And guess what? When they get old enough and strong enough, guess what they're gonna do? They're gonna fight back.
Listen, if your default is yelling and cussing and all that, right? You know what I mean? If that's your default, then what's gonna happen is they're gonna tune you out. Like, oh, here she go. They can be like, she yelling. Oh, yeah, because she's always yelling. She's always cussing.
Yeah.
For me, I really try to be intentional about like raising my voice, especially so that because one, I just feel like that's a trauma, like that's an internalized trauma of a masculine.
Where you have to automatically raise your voice, right? That's like a
masculine voice, like when you put bass and tone and volume to it, like
it's in a tremor, boy.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying, and that can cause long-term trauma. But when you don't do it often, you're now able. When you do, everybody's like, hold up, something must not be right because my dad don't ever raise his voice like that. So if he is, something's really going on. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And so it's like the boy who cried wolf. You know what I mean? You cry wolf all the time and eventually desensitize. But if you know what I mean, if you know how to really just like implement other skills, and that's what I'm saying, and that's why it's important for us to like look to break cycles, because whoever that parent was in Walmart, clearly there was some internalized stuff there too. So we're dealing with and we're holding that parent accountable at the responsible level, but we didn't deal with whatever soil produced them. You know what I mean? What soil produced that?
Mm-hmm. It was dirty though.
Yo.
And on that note,
Isaac is a savage, boy.
He
emptied the clip tonight. He said,
he was teed off at that Walmart, boy.
I got clips.
You gotta pray for her, man.
Yo, man. I bet you was at the I don't even want to say it on the air, but I bet you was at that other Walmart, wasn't you?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yo.
Yeah, he was at that. the one with the McDonald's across the street.
Yeah,
the Mickey D's across the street, right?
Yeah. I mean, they all got McDonald's next to them.
I'm about to say, actually, there's
some of them coming over here where I'm at now.
They're all bad now. Like,
there's more than
one. Brockport's still good, bro.
Come on.
You need a clean Walmart, man. Go to Brockport. Not clean. I shouldn't say that. If you want a Brockport where you can shop freely, go to Brockport.
Get it, sexy.
Or don't go at all. Shop local, black owned.
Absolutely. Yeah, that was tough, man. Like it's stuff like that is just tough to see. The second I heard it, and then I saw the little girl, man, beautiful little girl, man, and I'm just like, dang, like what
I don't go
are
to school wreck havoc, boy.
yeah, like what chances does she have? Oh man, I don't know. It's just
Yo, Mike,
I can't even
put the
find the word.
comments.
It's just
Go
painful.
ahead. Dirty foot.
Yo, Mike,
Mike
you
used to
wild
work
for
at
that.
that Walmart. Oh, you worked at the one at Brockport though, Mike.
Yeah. Yo, Mike, you had that blue vest? That's what's up.
Yeah.
Yo, Mike, I need some help, man, with some DJing skills, bro. I'll hit you up on the side. All right, man. I think we're getting that time right now, man. This was a great conversation. If you're just catching us just now, you might want to catch the replay. So go ahead and when we're done, hit that button and you can watch the replay. If you send us some comments, we do read the comments and we'll be happy to answer those. So yeah, we at the end of the show, bros. Bro, did you want to say anything before we start wrapping it up? You on mute, bro.
Shout out to my LB down in Florida.
No doubt.
Mike.
No doubt. All right, I'll rock out. I'll go first. First, I want to shout out to my beautiful wife. She has been the rock this past week. I've been in and out of this house, man, but she has been holding it down to the max. So definitely want to shout her out. You said what?
Picking up your slack.
Yeah, I'm not picking up no slack. I'm doing what I do right now.
I'm talking about she picking up your slack.
Yeah, sometimes it's like that in marriage, man. Sometimes you pick up mine. I usually don't have to pick up hers, but you should.
Oh, so you saying my sis be slacking?
See, that's messy. See, that ain't of the Lord.
That's not what he said, man.
That ain't of the Lord right there.
You know what I'm saying? you come on here, you gave your wife all this credit all the time. That's what that man is doing, man.
That's all I'm doing.
That's all I'm doing.
Yo, babe, you see what he trying to do, right?
I got you.
Appreciate you, bro. See, Brucey got your back. Number 4 all day. So shout out to my kids.
I got my sis back. I was making sure you wasn't accusing her of
I know you do.
Job.
I know you taking words and you know what I mean, you adding a little more extra value than what's supposed to be on them. So I got you. But yeah, I want to shout out to my kids, man. Saw them practicing in the backyard today, hooping, playing basketball. We got a couple drills in. So shout out to them. I just love to see kids practicing. Like if that's the one thing I could have done when I was younger, was really like to really hone in and really work on the skills. So I definitely appreciate that.
Please make sure your rim is regulation too.
Oh, absolutely. We don't do that low rim stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, we don't do that in my house. If you're gonna do a layup, you gotta do it on regulation height. We ain't doing all that. Last thing is, I want to shout out to my boy, fellow Gates Childlike graduate, class of 2001. My man John Fawcett. He was inducted into the Rochester Music Hall of Fame yesterday, and he also had the opportunity to perform. I know all y'all know John on here, but definitely want to shout him out, man. That brother has done amazing things. If you all have not heard his name before, he plays the piano. He is the piano player for Bruno Mars. I've been playing for him for some years now, and he's been to over 50 countries, has played in the Super Bowl, been to all the award shows, has met a ton of people, a ton of legends. So definitely want to shout him out, man. He does love the Lord, man. He loves his family and his kids, and man, he loves Rochester. So definitely want to shout my boy out, man, for all that he's done. And he rocked the house yesterday too, man. Played some of Bruno's hits last week, man. Had everybody standing, clapping, dancing, everything. So definitely want to shout my man out, man. Definitely proud of you, boy. That's it.
That's what's up. So I want to start by wishing a happy birthday to my niece Kintera, 26. You're almost 30. You know what I mean? Let that sink in. Every time you was calling people somebody old, now you old. So
Dude, she's 26, dude. She got 4 more years to go.
nah, but she closer to 30 than she is 20. So she might as well just take 30. You 30. You almost 30. You know what I mean? So there you go. Happy birthday.
Yeah, happy birthday, girl.
Yo, I'm a shout out. I'm gonna try to get this one out and not get emotional. My nephew Wallace became a father this weekend. I'm proud of you.
Congrats, nephew. I seen
Yeah.
the pictures. Congrats.
Yeah, man, proud of that young man, and I know his dad is beaming. You know what I mean? So it's the first grandchild born since my brother's passed. So you know what I mean?
It's a boy.
Yeah. So
Yo, legacy continues, man.
There we go. You know what I mean? Number 5. So Wallace number 5. You know what I mean? So, man, just congratulations again, man. Happy birthday to my brand new great nephew. Yeah, just again, man, got a chance to get up there and see him, and it was just like it was dope, man. My brother's grandson. You know what I mean? That meant everything to me. So again, congratulations, little Wallace. Now you got you little Wallace, but now you got a little Wallace, right? Yo, shout out to Isaac was talking about how Zoe has that characteristic or quality about her. Man, my son Bryson, man, he woke up yesterday. He said, "Dad, can I go to Mima house?" That's my mom, so that's what they call my mom. Can I go to Mima house? And I was like, yeah, of course. Slip my mind. We get through the day, you know what I mean. And then so today he goes to my wife and says, "Mom, can I go to? Will you take me to Mima house?" She was like, "Yeah." She said, he said, "Yeah, Dad was supposed to take me yesterday." And like, so he's over there hanging out. He's over there hanging out with my mom today. Again, just he's intentional about getting over and checking on and spending time with, you know what I mean, whoever. Like if you cross his mind, he's gonna make sure he checks up on you. So just love that little spirit on that guy. Man, shout out to my namesake. Yo, today I don't know when it happened, but we were leaving the birthday dinner and I look over and I'm like, yo, he's taller than his mom. He is not
it happens.
It has happened. He is officially taller than his mom. So shout out, man. It's it's one of those.
He gets taller than you.
Hey, that would be that is my dream for him to do what he does. My prayer is that you get way taller than me, so that way
you're not the tallest out of all the brothers, though, right? Wallace was.
Yeah, Wallace was like almost 6'2". So
yeah,
I need him to get that kind of height. You know what I mean? I need him to get, and then my brother-in-laws, they're both like over 6. I got 2 brother-in-laws. Like my brother-in-law Kenny is like 6'4", 6'5", and then my brother-in-law Mike like 6'3". So you know what I mean? Yeah, I need you to get there. You know what I mean? Get down, get all that you can. You know what I mean? And yes, I was like, wow, like, yo, that's a proud day. So I wanted to make sure I shouted him out tonight so we can commemorate on 4/14. You officially taller than your mama. Mm-hmm. And then one of my last ones, yo. So we all know Rodney Young from United Way African American Leadership Development Program.
Yeah.
Saw him on Saturday at the Black Heritage Gala, and again, this man is he's an amazing man to be around, amazing spirit. But what blew me away was he was like, man, I love watching Bro Talk. And so it just, when I was like, wow, like to hear that from him, I was like, man, we gotta have him on. So we're gonna make sure we gotta do what we gotta do to get Rodney on here.
Man, he's a Rochester legend, man.
Yeah, and a wealth of wisdom and knowledge and experience and just
a historian, a documentarian, because he takes
Absolutely.
all the pictures. Like, I'm surprised. Did he have his camera with him?
Yeah, we did.
Come
We
on.
had.
See?
We did. So yeah. So again, shout out to Mr. Rodney Young. Man, we are blessed and fortunate to have you in our community. And again, to all the honorees and award recipients at the Black Heritage Gala, congratulations again. And to my amazing wife, who's not who always picks up my slack, but never leaves any slack. See that, Kareem? See how you do that? See how that goes?
Yo, that's petty, man. I want you to go when you go to bed tonight. Go ahead and repent.
I love you, girl. Thank you for doing what you do. You know what I mean? Holding us down, making us look good.
Good, right?
All right. Happy Monday, everybody. I don't got much to say outside of what I already shared at the opening of the show. But I do, just want to give a shout out to my wife as well too, since that seems like to be the theme, not to be outdone by any of these brothers. Yo, y'all seen the story that I posted earlier. Everybody was in the comments, and not even in the comments, just giving it the likes. I just want to give her a shout out because whenever I post a picture of myself, man, I get like 4 or 5 likes, man. But anytime like she gets in it goes up to about 125. So she must be doing something right and adding value to my life. So shout out to you, Ezra. I love you. I appreciate you, everything that you do.
Hey, sis, I need some cookies.
Yeah. We might do something for Mother's Day or the other sad day, Father's Day that they still I guess are considering a holiday.
Yo, Father's Day is gonna get better, man. We're gonna make sure.
Yeah, one day. But I do also just want to.
So y'all stay tuned. I'm cooking up something.
All right, but I do also want to say that kind of piggybacking off of what Bala was just sharing with brother Young, is that it's really amazing to kind of watch and and see and still have those conversations in the community about all the people that do tune in and do listen and do watch the show. You don't always see it, from the comments that we get. Mike, we definitely appreciate you for chiming in. But we know that there's a bunch of people like, kind of watching behind the scenes. And, it's great to, stay behind the scenes as well, too. Just know that we, appreciate you whether you share anything in the comments or not. We definitely appreciate everybody for tuning in. On a weekly basis or bi-weekly basis or monthly basis, if that's all that you can come in catch us during this time. But continue to share it. Make sure you like, subscribe, share the information with somebody that you think could benefit from it, because the conversations that we have on here are real conversations that and from our perspectives. It's not anything that we've gone to school to learn about and talk about and discuss. It's just brothers getting together and sharing information. So we encourage you, even if you're not jumping in the chat, to come in and chime in, give us your perspectives and your thoughts, because that's really what this platform is all about. So I'll leave it at that and pass it over to my dean.
I just want to shout out everybody, man, that all y'all brothers that's on this chat. Shout out Brother Brock. He's been on my mind. Brother Eminem. And I spoke to Brother Narcisse this a couple of days ago, man. It was refreshing just chatting with him, man, for like an hour. You know what I'm saying? Shout Narcisse out.
That's impressive, because Cecil get on the phone and get off the phone quick.
Yeah, he will.
It's his dean, it's his dean. So, he gonna put some time aside, man.
Shout out to Cecil.
Yeah, man. Shout him out, man.
KP.
I have had a conversation. 30 years in the game, man. On April 8th, that I spent, I didn't even talk to one of my line brothers, because I think them jokers forgot the date. It was the 8th.
Yo, Mike, you see how your LB putting you out there like that?
I'm just saying they may forgot. I don't know. Cats getting older, man. Cats have other things to do. But you know, Bobby called me. It was like, "Yo, man, I think what was the date again? The 12th?" I said, bro, it's been passed, man. You know, it's all good.
No. He said no. We did it.
You know what I'm saying? That's 30 years in the game, baby. It's
Mike said he didn't forget. They didn't forget.
Yeah, I know you probably didn't. You know.
He said he ain't called me.
Yeah.
He said he ain't called me. That's what Mike said.
Who didn't call? I didn't call. I didn't call nobody. You know what I'm saying? I'm always the one to call people, man. Nah, they got phones.
He said not this time.
Yeah, they got phones, man. Yeah, cats got phones, man. You can dial my number. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm always the one to call and send out a text. I ain't do no such thing. You know what I'm saying? But it's all good, man. Love them the same. You know what I'm saying? That looks good, B.
So you just gonna show us that?
I want that cheesecake though.
Man, my wife just brought me down. I mean, it is nice.
I ain't gonna say that there.
Yeah, man.
Shout out to Sis.
Tell the story, man. Don't do that again, man. Wait till we get off the show, man.
Nah, bro.
Don't do that, man. Sorry, don't do that.
Nice and hot, right?
You know what I'm saying?
She take care of her, man.
But shout out to Karen Bashada, man.
It's Pete.
My full gospel family. Just everybody in the rock, man. You know, continue to do y'all, man. Love y'all. Love y'all up in the rock, man. You know, I'm not there, but I'm there.
Always.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
and shout out my man Gabe. What's that restaurant again?
809.
809. Best Spanish food in town, baby. Tell them that Bruce sent you, man. And you take 2% off your bill. All right? 809, baby. Lyle Avenue. Best Spanish food in town. See my man Gabe, little short Spanish guy. You know what I'm saying?
It's two Gabes, so you got to make sure you ask for the right Gabe.
Just be like Uno Bruiser.
Uno.
Yeah. Uno.
You know what I'm saying? You'll know. Get Perez. All right? 809, baby. That's it. That's all I got.
All right.
All right, black folks. We appreciate y'all for tuning in. Go out, support a black business. We might highlight a black business next week, man. Let us know in the chat. Yeah, let us know in the chat if y'all want us to highlight a different black business or a black person doing some positive things in the community each week. You know, maybe we'll start doing that as well too to kind of send us off. So
don't worry, we're not gonna start charging y'all yet. So come on now while it's free.
99 ain't nothing free, but free 99. You know,
yeah.
We need some type of kickback. Give us a coupon or something. You know what I'm saying?
Black biz, yes, sir.
Trying to eat for free.
I got these masks, man. Y'all better come get these Greek masks. A lot of people.
Yeah, they on sale. On sale, man.
Hey, shout out all those people that's crossing, man. New York City just crossed 102 deltas.
You
know what I'm saying? In Brooklyn.
I was about to say
just crossed Coppin. There's like 56 of them. It's a whole bunch of crossing going on around the place.
You know what I think now when people cross? Now I got to ask the question. So let's say.
Don't do it.
Okay. All right. Be quiet.
Don't do it. It's money.
All right.
Mess up the business, bro. It's a money thing.
I'm going to leave it alone.
You know what I'm saying? Like B was saying, the Edero Lambda show was, you know what I'm saying? How was the show, B?
Y'all yeah, you know what I mean? It was, hey, man, they came
out. Shout out James Walters, man. Shout out James Walters.
Hey, if you know Bama,
I know Bama.
Good hands.
Yo,
shout out to the Neos.
I'm gonna keep it a stack with you though. Yo, Clarence did an amazing job with the
absolutely.
Clarence did an amazing job.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that brother put in a lot of work, a lot of time, a lot of hours.
That dude is
a lot of paperwork.
Clarence is a soldier, man. Clarence solid, man.
Yeah. So hey, be on the lookout for him again. So I mean, we're not having a line no time soon, but if
no time soon.
Not anytime soon.
Oh, Edero Lambda not having no more lines.
I mean, we good for now. Good for now. College days swiftly pass and beauty memories fond, and the recollections slowly.
Big shot.
Look at this dude. Look at this.
Look at shot.
You're a little late, shot.
Yeah, it's April
yes,
14th.
sir. Happy anniversary, integrity.
Late better than
No doubt.
never. Shout out to the Ace.
1 week later.
Shout out to the Ace.
Yo, shout out to Eli, man. He's got a birthday coming up in 10 days too.
Hey,
Man.
he gonna be
what? Josiah's the
8?
19th.
Yeah, he'll be
okay.
7.
7, and how old is
19?
Josiah gonna be?
5 days. Josiah's gonna be 8.
Okay. Yeah.
So you gonna tell me that's good, right? That's what you about to do right now.
Yeah.
Bro, I'm not going way over there.
You see how
he thought about it though. He thought about it.
Hey, Balan, don't let me hear you say. Don't let me hear you tell correct nobody about eating on live.
Yeah, bro. How you eating?
No.
I'm doing it. You know.
I'm just saying. Okay. All right.
Y'all see how bros be, man. See, this ain't right, man. This is why we got angry parents in Walmart. Because we doing stuff like this.
Nah, that's not why.
Hey, Mike,
it's sexy red. That's why. and it's the people that promote the all age concert.
Promote ignorance. Thank you, Mike. Thank you. See,
Kareem, man, come get you some. Come get some.
No, I ain't going over there, man. No,
come get some.
But what you
Mike,
can do,
I didn't know what type is, Mike. I didn't know what that word is. To somebody tell me. To be honest with you,
come get you some.
Nah, I'm good, man. I
ain't paying none of that.
I got food downstairs. All right, I'm about to hit that end button. Everybody, good night. Peace out. Much love.
Much love.